All right. Well, before we go any further, ladies and gentlemen, there's rumors and speculation going on about something here, and we wanted to go ahead and nip it in the bud, as Barney Fife would say. A lot of people know over the course of the years, we've talked about him, you've seen his work, but the guy that does and has done the artwork for both of our shows, Experience and Drive-Thru, the YouTube channel, the thumbnails that the kids call them, and a variety of your programs, Brian, on the Arcadian Vanguard Network. Travis Heckel announced that he was not going to be doing the art anymore. And he, this is what's come up over the last few days, that he made that statement on Twitter, but the way that he did it, he left it open as to any reason. He just, I'm not going to be doing the art anymore, and blah blah blah. That's about it. So, since he didn't say whose decision it was or what it was about or whatever, people have started. I know you'll find this hard to believe, Brad, but people on the internet are making up conspiracy theories and stories. And starting drama. It's over money. It's over money. They fired him. Why would they fire him? What in the way? So we're going to put the rumors to rest before all of the fake drama gets going, because the real drama is good enough. But anyway, no, we didn't fire him. No, it wasn't over money. Going further, we have to back up a little bit. Brian, I guess it's been, well, I've known Travis for years. He's from here in Louisville. He's been a wrestling fan forever. And so I can't actually remember the very first time that we met, but he's been doing our art for what, close to 10 years, certainly 8, I would think.
7 or 8, somewhere in that
7,
range.
8. Well, as I get older, I can't keep track of time. It just starts melting away. But anyway, he's been doing the art for us for almost 10 years, one way or the other. And, Travis was his son, Aiden, we've talked about. He'd like to take Aiden to Disney World and take him to his ball games. And a lot of times, we work around the schedule sometimes on the art. Oh, shit, they're out of town at a ball game. No worries, blah, blah, blah. And he would tweet pictures years ago on his Twitter of the trips to Disney and cartoons and art and things. And we've never had a crossword between us, the three of us that I can think of in all of those years. And what we knew about Travis's personal opinions was, he was a big Disney fan, and he did always say he didn't like talking about politics. That's fine. And he did make a point at one point of letting everybody know that he didn't like the vaccines. I thought maybe after he got COVID a few years ago and was in the hospital for so long and almost died, that might change, but that's nevertheless. And you reminded me, Brian, here several days ago that it was probably about, I don't know, 5 years ago, whatever. He told you, I'm getting off of social media. Because he'd been, Disney Dad Travis on Twitter with the pictures of the Magic Castle. And we followed him and, went back and forth, blah, blah, blah. So he said he was getting off social media, and, okay, a lot of people do that. Believe it. If I wasn't having to keep up on the wrestling news, I wouldn't be on the goddamn internet at all. Everybody's well aware of that. So we had no issue with that. And I can't say that I've seen Travis in a while, but in person, but I haven't seen a lot of people in person in a while. We talk on the phone every once in a while. You've been in constant contact with him because of the art, either by text or email, I would think, multiple times per week, right?
Yeah, for about 10 years, give or take, almost 10 years of, constant, all the time correspondence. And let me just, if you don't mind, jump in and make a little bit of a correction. Previously, a while back, because, I first got to know Travis through the shows through social media, through him reaching out and sending artwork and stuff. And then we found out that we had met each other years earlier. after the Louisville show in 95. And he had said to me, and I don't have the exact thing in front of me, but it was a variation of, I hate all the political things I'm getting off social media. And I think that's like the healthiest thing anyone could do. Whether or not
Yes.
you hate political things or not, it's not always healthy for people. But, he said that. And then I know he would kind of disappear or reappear on Facebook because I'm not on social media as much as, people probably think. It's usually just posting clips and looking for news, and that's it.
Well, yeah,
And
because we don't have a lot of time, and I don't know how this shit works. I'm not interested in learning.
yeah, and I knew he was on Facebook because a couple of times he bowed out from being. I know it was in the Mothership Facebook group. It may have been when we first started the Cult of Cornette group. He was like a mod and he bowed out. Just, I don't want to be on social media. Hey, fine, no problem. I don't know if he ever really left with the Twitter situation. Whatever that original account was that we got to know him on social media with, I think it was like Classic Memphis Wrestling or Memphis Classics. It was some variation of Memphis Wrestling. That went away. Then there was the Disney account. And I don't know if that went away or not, but
That went away because we followed it. Because I asked Stacy to make. I said, "Do we used to follow Travis?" And she looked it up, but he hadn't tweeted on it in 5 years.
but I had not seen Travis on Twitter in forever. I didn't even know he had a
All
Twitter
right.
account.
Well, point being. So again, there's never been any conflict in the relationship, and nobody ever said anything to anybody about anything that might be happening. And then last week or two, I've seen on Twitter I think somebody tweeted me, but didn't give any specifics. And then I was in one of those conversations I was eavesdropping on where people are talking, but basically it's like, boy, I wonder if Cornette saw what Travis Heckel said on social media or what. And no, I didn't. So I asked you before we got ready to record something the other day, week, whatever. I said, did Travis say, has he become a closet AEW fan? Is he saying something on social media I should be aware of? You hadn't seen anything. And we got other, things to dwell on. And I said, if it was important, I would think I would see it or whatever. And that's where we left it. And it was important, and I saw it eventually. I guess it was this past Sunday. I looking on Twitter, and somebody has tweeted me, "Hey Jim, what in the world do you think of this?" And it is a quote tweet where Travis has tweeted on his new account that we were not being followed on or aware of. Joe Biden is a pedophile. And I looked away for a second like I'd accidentally seen my parents having sex. Because I'm like, what? What? Oh my God. And come to find out, if you look for it, not just a pedophile, but a confirmed pedophile. Like everybody knows this. And in investigating the rest of Travis's account, and folks, again, this is not going to be a political thing. I'm so sick and tired of hearing that. This is going to be a something, I don't know what. Because if you look further at what Travis had been tweeting, it was like he had a checklist provided in the daily newspaper of every fringe, MAGA, grievance, issue, not just the regular shit, not just he doesn't believe in climate change, and January 6th didn't happen, and they have opened the borders, and they're going to change your kid's sex and not tell you about it. That's there. A lot of it is just silly and silly. Like Nike is evil. Sami Zayn is a commie dirtbag. He's mad at Billy Joel because Billy Joel said in the new documentary that he was done with Trump after the good people on both sides deal. He's pro dildo throwing. He's constantly chiming in just, I hate commies! Exclamation point, exclamation point.
It's the pro dildo throwing thing that's a step too far, I think.
Nobody he knows watches PBS. Sesame Street now, for Christ's sake. Aiden never watched Sesame Street? The Department of Education are all commies. And CBS has never been news. It's always been propaganda. This is a quote, I swear to God to everybody. Walter Cronkite fooled you all.
Oh my God, really?
Cronkite! I'm not making this shit up. They are. Walter Cronkite, now the most trusted man in America, now is on the defensive 40 years after his death over at the fucking right-wing loony camp. Then they're mad at Cronkite. Billy Joel's one thing, but Cronkite.
That's a new one. I did not know that was a complaint amongst people that Walter Cronkite had fooled people on behalf of the communist organization CBS.
But the point is, getting back to what was way too far. This is not only the content and the tone, but the frequency gave you the impression that the hinges were starting to flap. And we get back to the main point, which was that was only the third time over the week period that he had tweeted Joe Biden is either a confirmed or verified pedophile and was asking why nobody is going to pick him up. It's a known fact. Oh shit, they found him guilty and shit, they sentenced him and he's just walking around. Nobody's bothered to pick him up yet. I don't know what to fucking say. I've never been so embarrassed in my life, and I'll get to that in a minute. And also, his other thing is he's happy about the military takeover of the nation's capital because the Democrats are okay with people being murdered because of their severe TDS. So now, here's the thing. Before I go any further, the reason why that the country is in the shit shape it is in right now is because people like Travis and so many others have been fed this horse shit and made to believe it, and then they spread it. And nobody connected to this program is going to be doing that. But I get ahead of myself again. Because you know me, Brian. I'm level-headed. I'm reasonable. I didn't want to fire Travis. I wanted to go over to his house and choke him. Because how can he do this behind my back?
You were pissed off. I had not heard you that pissed off about a person in a while. You were...
Because here's the thing. All the people who hate us and don't like me and want to make me bad, I don't care, right? But when it comes from inside the house, that's on another level, because I had no idea that these things were being said or going on by a person connected to the program. Anyway, point being, when I calmed down a little bit, I called you, because you are a little bit more level-headed about these things.
I was about to go to the pool with my family. It was Sunday afternoon.
You're not quite as prickly. You're just sitting there by the pool with the family, waiting to hear about this. And you were, I overused the phrase gobsmacked bumfuzzled, astonished when you viewed the content as well.
Yeah, and specifically the Joe Biden thing, and I think these are the exact words I said to you. I don't have a problem with someone criticizing Joe Biden. I don't have a problem with someone criticizing his administration, the way things were run, what it led to. I don't have any problem with that. But when it's not any of those things, it's not some criticism that seems to come from a level place or just reasonable.
Joe Biden has Alzheimer's. Well, unfortunately, probably. They were trying to cover it up so that we could save the fucking world, but that's probably true.
That's something that's at this point been talked about, rumored in books from every side of the aisle. So that's fair.
Joe Biden is a confirmed, verified pedophile, Brian. You haven't heard about this? There should be somebody picking him up.
And again, what you said at the very top was it was the quantity. And I kind of thought Travis was like a libertarian and he hated all the politicians. I didn't realize it was seemingly, I don't want to say an obsession, but it's seemingly something that meant a whole lot to him, that he really felt like he had to just issue a barrage of tweets seemingly every day. And, like you said, it's not about you're not allowed to have your beliefs. It's a free country. There's freedom of speech. It's all that. But he's representing the Jim Cornette podcast. And that's the part that
when I type Travis Heckel's name in, the first thing that comes up is Jim Cornette's artist, Travis Heckel. So I would have thought that he might have mentioned something like this to me in the previous 10 years that he was going to, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So in you trying to throw a blanket on me, I try to be professional. And Brad, remember when every time I try to be professional, it doesn't work. But when I scream at somebody and physically assault them, I usually get what I want. Let's try to be professional. I don't have to have this long personal relationship with Travis. Let's not fuck the show, you, the fans. Travis is out of a well-paying second job that he has. Let's not disrupt everything. I'll just be over here. You continue to deal with Travis. Travis continues to do the art. Travis continues to get paid for the art. The fans get to see the art. Just don't say anything else crazy on Twitter, I believe was my quote. Don't say anything else crazy on the internet. I may have made it broader just to not leave a loophole. Quit saying crazy shit on the internet. And you, in some fashion, probably more politely delivered that.
I emailed him before I went down to the pool to meet my family after I got off the phone with you. I sent him an email and I let him know, because it was the maddest I had heard you in a while. I let him know that you were as mad as I had heard you in a while. And it was because you had just found out, because listeners had gotten in touch about these tweets, and specifically the Joe Biden is a pedophile one. Specifically that we didn't even know he was on Twitter. Like, he doesn't follow us, and we didn't follow him because we didn't know he was there. It's almost like it was, again, he felt an urge. He had to get these thoughts out there under his name on Twitter. I don't understand, but I explained all this to him, and I said that this is a problem. If you're going to continue to do this, we probably have to figure out something. Let me know what you want to do. And later on that day, he sent me back an email, and he also sent it in text, I believe. And it said, that he was really sorry and that he really appreciates you and he would never want to do anything to upset you. And I'm like, okay, cool. Now we're back to where we were. Travis, I'm not saying change your thoughts. I'm just saying.
That sounded like normal Travis. That sounded like the Travis we've always had communication with.
And, again, we didn't even say take down stuff. We just said just more.
Quit. Just stop.
And again, you Google Travis Heckel.
I actually didn't think about taking shit down. I forgot you could do that.
We didn't even get there. So I think we're okay. I think the next day was Monday. I had a bunch of meetings and a bunch of things going on. And then overnight at 3 in the morning. So I didn't see it until I woke up at
And by the
7.
way, he did take it the first day off in I don't know how long, and he didn't tweet because you'd look.
So then, like I said, 3 in the morning, I saw it the next day at 7. When I woke up, he sent me a message saying, "Hey, I thought about it, and I think I'm just going to drop off the show. No hard feelings. You guys have done a great job." He sent me a note that he appreciates everything. I mean, again, that's the thing. I know Travis. I like Travis. I care about Travis. We've been
Yes.
through a lot with Travis, and I think him and his family are terrific. And it's just he's representing the show with seemingly any crazy fringe thing, and then insisting that this is the way it is, and then tweeting about it over and over again, and then.
Well, he appreciates me. He appreciates me and never wants to do anything to me. And then he turns around and everything I publicly stand for, he's like, "This is bullshit."
Well,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, but I mean, again, he's obviously got a lot on his mind with this stuff. He's come a long way from "I hate politics" and tweeting just that all the time. Now it seems that he's got a lot of feelings about this stuff, and that's his right. So yeah, he decided to leave. And then he put out a statement, because we weren't going to say anything until we had a chance to do it here on the air. I didn't put out any kind of statement or anything. We still had Travis artwork in the pipeline. We're just about done with that. Go ahead.
Well, also, we were going to wait a couple of days to see if maybe he might rethink this, giving the income that he's losing on in all these years, he's into six figures with what he's made just doing this art. But go ahead.
Yeah, and I mean, he's told me in the past, because I always like hearing these stories, that I think him and Aiden always got a kick out of being recognized, having their names recognized. It just happened a couple weeks ago. They went to get pizza somewhere in Louisville, and the person there was like, "Are you Travis Heckel from the Jim Cornette show?" So people associate him with the shows. But yeah, he put out a statement. It had like a weird line where it was like, "If that's your kind of thing, continue to support it, whatever that is." I don't know. But like I said, I think this whole thing's unfortunate. And if Travis isn't, it would be like if Travis had a Twitter page, to take politics out of this. If Travis had a Twitter page and was talking about how Vince Russo's a genius, and it was just nonstop stuff like that.
It's not even, I mean, that.
No, but I'm just saying it's diametrically opposed to what your views are. So
I know, but let's take the silliness out of the equation of any of this. As far as if it was Vince Russo or whatever, or maybe let's put some silliness in it. If Donald Trump hired one of those blonde bimbo Stepford wife press secretaries to lie for him, but she came out and said, "Yeah, this fucking guy's full of shit. I don't think he knows what he's doing, but here's what he wants me to tell you." I don't know if she'd have her job very long either, but
depends how blonde. But go ahead.
It depends how bimbo. Let's make it more serious. First off, as I said, for the country, this is happening because this guy has normalized this to just lie and be accepted, because these people, they fall down the rabbit hole or the maggot hole and they can't get out of it. And I don't hate Travis, and I'm not mad at Travis. I'm sorry we lost Travis as a person. I don't believe Travis is evil. I think what he's being told by evil people, he believes. And that's the problem that we've got to stop. We can't keep letting people just spread this horse shit. They're eating the dogs and cats. And we've got troops in the fucking streets kidnapping people because of this shit, because crime is up when crime is down. And it's all performative with this fucking wannabe lunatic dictator and all the people that are falling into the sway of the whole thing. Even he's just the figurehead of it, but it's out there in other places, and all these right-wing liars are trying to jockey to be the next one after this old man kicks the fucking bucket. We're still screwed. We can't even hope for a fucking happy ending because there's more of them. But here's another thing. It's personal because Travis. And by the way, he's got my phone number, he's got my email, and I emailed him some of this same stuff. So why? And he hadn't bothered to answer me yet. But were we friends? Then Brian, didn't he go behind my back for however long he's been doing this, saying this stuff? What was his plan here? I sound like fucking Chris Hansen. What was his plan? That nobody was ever going to tell me? And that he, or as an employee for the aforementioned large amount of money over almost a decade and having a job for life, he couldn't have come to me or you or either one of us and say, I'm really feeling an overwhelming urge to say a bunch of shit on Twitter that will make Jim make your head blow up. And as your employee, is this going to cause a problem? Do we need to have a peaceful transition here? Is there something else? Yeah, I'm going to do this rather than take my money for however long he's been doing this, say this shit behind my back until somebody stooges on it. Then I'd asked him how I'm surprised it took this long. And that's what I'm mad, but I'm more embarrassed that a alleged friend, employee, and or member of the program here is going to just, fuck you. Oh, yeah, you won't catch me till eventually. I apologize to anybody who saw this stuff or heard him say these things and thought that I knew that it was happening. And I hate to admit having feelings. God damn it, but they're hurt.
Yeah, and beyond your feelings and beyond my feelings and beyond either of our political leanings, sadly, you also have to look at it from the business perspective. We have partners. We have lots of people we work with, from advertisers to our advertising agent to international distributor. We have all sorts of people we work with who are partners in what we do. You don't want them to all of a sudden be like, hey, what the fuck is this? And if any of them saw it, I'm pretty sure, no matter what side of the aisle they are on, because again, it's not just like, oh, this is a conservative point of view. That's not what it is. It's beyond that. And it's the kind of thing that's embarrassing. It's the kind of thing that, if it got noticed, could cost us business.
Wait a minute. If we read one of those tweets on, if we just said what he said on YouTube without any context, saying this is crazy that they said that in the sentence, we would get kicked off the goddamn air. You can't know.
And, again, for anyone who thinks it was about money, had nothing to do with money. And for all I know, I think Travis and his family have been very happy. I don't think there's ever been an issue with money with us. And for anyone who thinks this is just a difference of political opinions, it's more than that. And again, it's Jim's shows. His name is on it. The people that do business with us are doing business with the Jim Cornette podcasts. We can't have that stuff being out there in the show's name. That's the issue. And
I find it very ironic, and you can put this out there in my name, I find it very ironic that he is accusing the former president of being a confirmed pedophile, given the current occupant of the office. It's crazy. And I'll just say one more thing. Again, I'm mad that Travis has had, that this has happened to Travis the same way that I would be mad in Invasion of the Body Snatchers when the seed pod takes over another member of the group. Why? And that's the issue of being upset about this thing, because it's we've had, since this whole thing nightmare began 10 years ago or whatever with this guy and all these people around him, I've had emails on and off. Because I've been saying the same thing since the start. So people have heard it, and I've had emails right along every once in a while. I don't understand what it is, Jim. I've had to stop speaking to my best friend or member of my family, or you can't talk to him anymore. I don't know what it is about a fat man wearing orange makeup that's an obvious grifter and con man and a series of lying stooges around him.
That's part of it, but the bigger issue is it's beyond just Trump. It's beyond
The news dissemination.
It's flat Earth kind of shit. You know, it's like,
but it's the news dissemination about that these people can somehow be made, can be built by Jack Pfeffer, this band of freaks, a fat grifting con man, a criminal family, and a bunch of lunatic plastic surgery victims all around him. A news network can take that and make this goddamn cult to the point where people they'll leave their jobs, or they'll not speak to family members, or unfortunately want to speak to family members, and the family members can't speak to them. It's just insane to me, and it's not even good lies. It's shit. It's on the surface of it you could see through, and then when you dig further, it's even clearer.
Well, again, Donald Trump and his kids aren't going out there and saying Joe Biden's a pedophile. I guess that's the issue. It's not just he supports any of that. And I don't even know if he does, I assume. But I don't know, because again, I always thought he was just a libertarian who hated all politicians. But again, you know, I don't want to just keep going over this over and over again. It's all it's all unfortunate, like I said. But Travis, the views that he, again, felt the urge to obviously spend time putting out there every day don't align with these programs, and again, it's all unfortunate.
But once again, we didn't fire him against my best interest because he quit anyway. I should have just said, fuck it, being professional, but we didn't fire him. It wasn't over money. He decided not to do this, to tweet stuff to 900 followers. The problem was one day something that he might say might hit the big time. And then there we are. And I apologize if anybody thought that I knew about what was happening before I knew what was happening.
Yeah, and I think I speak for both of us. Like I said, we never had an issue with Travis. Lovely family. We've been, like I said, we've been through a lot medically with Travis. I care about the guy. And, you know, it's unfortunate.
That's why I am mad at this shit. I'm mad at this whole movement that is leading so many of these people down this path. And that there's, again, you can't yell fire in a crowded theater, right, Brian? That was adjudicated long ago. And you know the reason behind it, because if you yell fire in a crowded theater where there is no actual fire taking place, you will institute a panic where people in trying to get out of the way are going to fucking get hurt. Because that was a thing that used to happen back in the days when you could yell fire in a crowded theater. It's the same thing. Whether it's the news networks or the politicians, and you know who they're all sucking up to, and he's the king of all liars. They spread shit to cover up their own shit. People believe it, and then they turn around and they repeat it, and sooner or later, you've got all these people believing it. And this is what's happened. And you
know, it's
got to draw a line somewhere.
And the other thing too is, whether it's this situation with Travis or anyone out there, if you just call people a pedophile because you don't like them, or you search for evidence to prove this idea you have must be true, you water it down for when a real pedophile needs to be exposed. If you call everyone a commie, when there are legitimate commies out there, when there are people who are commies, if you just call everyone a commie, you water it down for where the real commie needs to be pointed out. And it can't just be, I don't like you, so I'm going to, you know, it's not giving people nicknames like Twinkle Toes McFingerbang. It's like Twinkle Pedophile McFucks the Boy. Like, it's just, it's over the top. And you know, when there really are people out there who are fucked up that need to be exposed for a lot of things, you don't want to be just, you know, I don't like Joe Biden. He's a pedophile. Look, here he is next to a girl at the White House in front of the press. Like, what the fuck?
Taking pictures. Fucking
in front of the press. It wasn't like I found this hidden video. It was like the press's video. Oh.
But again, yes, that's you can't just you can't. So again, we're sorry about the whole thing.
And in terms of artwork, we have a few Travis things in the pipeline that'll probably be out by the time you hear this. We actually found a bunch of clips that didn't get released for one reason or another, old SmackDown and Raw reviews from a year ago. So if all of a sudden those go up and you're like, what the hell is this? That's what it is. But really happy to say George Livinitis, who has been a tremendous help to us over the last several years. Originally, he was a guest artist when Travis got sick, and we enjoyed his work, and he's been doing a lot of guest artwork for the channel. He's going to be stepping it up and contributing more, and we're really happy about that. We really like him and his style of art. And we're also opening up the floor again for guest artists. If it's the right person and you understand what we do, the feel of what we do, the fun of what we do on there, and you think you
or the fun feel. If you would like a fun feel,
well, no, let's not say that. But
hit us up.
If you've ever wanted to do art for the show, get in touch. CornyDriveThru@gmail.com. We'll try to get to everyone. A lot of people always want to get in, so it's nothing personal. If we don't go right to you, some of you actually may be personal. You just may not understand what a thumbnail is. But guest artists, we got George. Yes. Moving forward, we got a lot of big things we're working on, big things coming up, and I wish the very best to Travis going forward. But we got big things happening and exciting times here.
You sound like Nick Goulas now.
This is the biggest show he's ever done.
One of the biggest cards I've signed in many years. Headline, well, it is a big card, and I got some big emails here.